birthday that I speak to you about these listens so you can also learn them. So one of the main lessons I learned the hard way while I was growing up is how to trust myself. Because you see, we've all lived our own lives through our own eyes and our own ears, and not through anybody else's eyes and ears. So whenever an authority figure tells you that you should be doing something in a different way or at a different kind of time, nobody has to tell you if you like chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream when you've tasted them. If you like a certain flavor of ice cream, there's no one to come and tell you, no, you don't like that. You like this one. So you can trust yourself. And another lesson that I've learned about trusting myself is that I don't need to be second-guessing myself all the time. And you see this in a lot of people. It's something called analysis paralysis. And I fell victim to it as well. It's when you have so many choices and so many options that you just sit there and you think about them while time is just passing you by. Let's say they tell you, are you in the mood for a warm glass of water or a cold glass of water? And by the time you make your decisions, all the ice has melted, and now you just have 2 warm glasses of water. So that's the analysis paralysis that I'm learning to avoid. And another thing I've learned is that older doesn't always mean wiser. Some people, they say, we're older than you, so you should just be quiet and listen to us. So let me ask you a question. If somebody grew up on a farm and they're, let's say, 17 years old, and someone grew up in a city and they're 80 years old, could that older person who's 80 years old that grew up in a city go to the farm and tell that 17-year-old how to run his farm? It's not age, ladies and gentlemen. It's experiences. And at the same token, someone who's 17 and grew up in the city, a farmer who's 80 years old, can't come to a 17-year-old in a city and tell them how to live their lives. Experiences. Okay, another lesson. Authority doesn't always know best. Authority is only human, and they're just, some of them are genuine, but some of them are just doing it for a paycheck. Just to get that paycheck at the end of the day, and that's all they're concerned about, and they're not really concerned about you. I know this may sound harsh, but this is what I've learned. And the system doesn't really care about your emotions that much, so much as the system cares about getting things done efficiently. Because the system's just there to make you go through a process. But if you think they're there to lift you up, you have to learn how to do that for yourself. And also, like most of these systems and authorities, their advice comes from a book. Your own advice comes from your heart. That's what the difference is. And a lot of these books were written by people later who got their advice from their heart. Because Albert Einstein had it in his heart to create the theory of relativity, and that advice that was in his heart that he was a creative at ended up in a book. And also, authority figures, including your parents, including your uncles, your aunts, your mayors, your professors, your teachers, are not immune to bad childhoods and bad advice themselves. I mean, if you think about it, some of these authority figures may have had other authority figures when they were growing up that didn't really make them feel comfortable or make them feel happy or make them feel good, and then it passes itself down, can pass itself down from one generation of authority figures or parents to another one. So this is all about trusting yourself sometimes and following your heart. And last lesson, I always keep teaching myself. I am the best teacher that I have ever had. And I do that through journaling, I do that through observing human behavior, and everything else. Being autodidactic is key, especially in this information age, where you just have tons and tons of information coming at you, left, right, center, up, down, from every side, every place. You have to learn how to filter through that information and how to use that information that's the best for you. Another lesson, trial and error has been another great method of teaching myself, such as giving this speech right now. I make an error, the grammarian lets me know, the all counter lets me know, and I do it again, and I do better. Experience has been my best classroom. There has never been a better classroom for me than experiential learning and learning by doing rather than sitting at a desk and looking at a book. And I'm 30. The fun has just begun. As long as I'm breathing, in conclusion, I'm always learning.